And then next it's going to be crossing over Highway 21, pretty close to Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville's had a rough ride. And this circulation will be near or just north of Jacksonville here very soon. And everybody in Jacksonville and Angel, and you need to stay in your safe place. Here's a report. Somebody says that the hail has been so intense, caused airbags to deploy. This is stuff like tree limbs, parts of buildings being lofted. This is not a good sign. And Charles, thanks for pegging that. This is a TDS, a tornado debris signature. And I would say that we've got a tornado down at Jacksonville. It is urgent that you are sheltered if you live in Jacksonville, if you're on the campus of Jacksonville State University. You should have been sheltered 30 minutes ago. This was a 30-minute lead time. It's pretty rough, Pam. I mean, you know, we've been doing this a long time.
We've seen better and worse than this.
We have, and again, this is clearly consistent with an EF3. I want to take the second camera we have here live. We're set up at Merrill Hall. For those that don't know, Merrill Hall is on Alabama Highway 21, real close to the Houston Cole Library. And you're seeing these large chunks of the buildings that have come off. And Pam, it's going to take a long time to clean this up. I don't know when the university will reopen. I don't know if we know that, or if the decision's been made.
No, we've not been told.
And understand, with an EF3 tornado like this, you've got wind speeds between 136 and 165 miles an hour. But it is a God thing that these students are on spring break.
They're on spring break. There would have been loss of life.
Yeah, we just don't know, but you have to think this would have been a really bad situation. It's bad enough as it is right now. Let's roll some of the drone video, and I think this really tells a story, Pam. Again, this technology is just marvelous. We didn't have drones years ago, and now this aids in many different ways, but it certainly aids in storms damage assessment from a scientific standpoint. But again, this is coming from Skyview earlier today. Right, I get the idea, Pam. This might be a 50-mile wide, a 50-mile long track. This is a long track tornado. It has origins to the west of here, and this crossed through Cleveland County, moved into Georgia. We are going to come on the air and stay on the air with you for a while. We now have the tornado watch issued by the Storm Prediction Center. I love this shot. This was taken from a passenger on a commercial jet departing Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. And this was taken, I'd say, about 1:30 this afternoon. At that point, we had these big buildups, and some of these did blossom into storms. And these storms earlier in the day did produce some hail. In fact, here's some of the images coming in. You can see that school. That is Harvest Elementary School. You can see the sign right here. I always start with actual video of the tornado that came through Jacksonville. And I want to thank Rita Lewis for getting this to us. And again, you don't determine the EF rating of a tornado by looking at video like this. You determine the rating by the damage it caused, but certainly this is a very significant tornado. Wanted to show this image again. This was pretty remarkable. This was a metal pipe that came through a hallway in a house in Jacksonville where people were sheltered in through here. And, you know, by the grace of God, at this spot, nobody was injured. But that pipe was basically a flying missile. This is the worst part of this thing that's coming in right now. And again, let's stop this thing one more time. I want to show you the great concern here. Here's the animation, and you can see that's kicking out quickly. The worst of the weather east of the circulation center. That means the tornado threat east of Alabama, parts of Georgia and northern Florida with a tornado watch for the next several hours. The areas here in yellow. We still have a few counties in southeast Alabama under hurricane, tropical storm warning. This is what it looked like in Mexico Beach, Florida today. This was pretty much ground zero. Mexico Beach is southeast of Panama City Beach. They were in that eastern eye wall. This thing came in today as a upper end category 4 between Panama City and Mexico Beach. The landfall point was near Tyndall Air Force Base. Number 3, in terms of all hurricanes that made landfall on the United States coast based on pressure, Michael ranks number 3. The most intense was the Labor Day storm of 1935. This is the storm right here. And again, John is on US 43 looking right back into this wall cloud back in here. And there could be a tornado down in this region right now. So again, this is a very dangerous storm with a possible tornado. He's coming up on U.S. Highway 43. This tornadic storm will be crossing U.S. 43 soon. And understand, these are trained spotters. John is the best in the business. He's been out there for years and years. He will not put himself in a position to where it's going to be dangerous for him. But yet at the same time, he wants to put himself in a position so we can show this live on television. Now, let's go to our LSM view. And this is going to be another one of the chasers coming from Live Storm Media that is basically in the core of this thing. And you can't see very much of this. But again, he is punching the core, if you will. This is a very dangerous storm that is in the western part of Franklin County and the western part of Colbert County. This is about to cross U.S. Highway 43, and we encourage nobody to be driving along U.S. 43 coming out of Marion County up through Franklin and Colbert counties, because that storm is showing very violent rotation. This is the Skycam coming from Grandview Medical Center. This is US 280. This is Double Oak Mountain back here. You can see those big storms off in the distance. Let's go right to the radar. The heavier, the most widespread rain now east and south of Birmingham. I think Ryan's still on the line. Ryan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Okay. Thanks for holding on here. We're showing some video, and for those that don't know, this is our youngest son, Ryan, who was in the mall when this happened. And this, Ryan, we're watching on television some video, a Snapchat video from the mall. And again, if you would just, for those that are just joining us, one more time, kind of set the stage from your perspective. What you're seeing down there, that is in front of the main entrance to Belk. Mm-hmm. And again, we're watching multiple ambulances that are still coming into the property, which of course is not a good sign at this point. And hopefully they're not needed. Hopefully those that were injured were transported. And again, people, we're getting so much information. Some news sources are reporting the mall is secure and the shooter has been neutralized, but we don't have confirmation of that. That means great weather for high school football. Our game tomorrow night on our sister station, My 68, Friday Night Rivals, will feature Chelsea at Homewood. 64 at kickoff. They'll be in the 50s by the second half. I had no hair back then. That was a comb over. I mean, I think I was born with no hair, but that was the best comb over I could do. Wow.
Yep.
Where do you go from here?
I don't know.
Weather.
Take it away,
Do the weather.
boy.
All right, here we go. Here's our Gulf Shore sketch. That was awesome. This is like really creepy. I mean, I don't know how many James Spanns were there, but they were like kind of awesome. There's a couple of well-buffed guys and an old stooge in the middle.
They teach us.
There you go. Those guys, that's Sean and Blake. And they're great. But we're starting to see these James Spanns all over the place, and we're starting them young. March, April, May, it's not odd to have these type of events here, but it never makes it any easier. I would imagine, Pam, once all the surveys are back, we're going to have about 10 tornadoes in the state. The Weather Service in Huntsville has identified 6 of them. We know, obviously, of this one, and there are others. And it's going to take a few days for these to come in, but it's been a very rough ride. But the good news, it's cold and it's stable. Therefore, we have no more additional severe weather for a while. Let's go right to our weather graphic system and take a look at the numbers across the state. A different kind of day today. You know, yesterday we had some spots hitting 80. Today we have locations in North Alabama only in the 40s. You factor in a cold north wind that makes it feel colder than that. Low 50s down to the south of Birmingham. And by Thursday morning, many of you will likely see a light freeze and a good chance of frost on the ground. We'll check the radar, and needless to say, we've had some passing rain showers here in Jacksonville today. Not exactly what the cleanup crews would like to see, but at least we have no thunder and no lightning. Some of the showers are briefly heavy. They're wrapping around the backside of this big storm system that's off to the east, but the showers will be ending later this evening. We'll expand the radar across the southeastern states. The issues we had yesterday, they're having today on the South Atlantic coast down into parts of central Florida. Strong to severe storms, those gradually move offshore, and up to the northeast, they're going to see more snow in places like Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, ultimately New York City and Boston. Not as big, though, as the last several nor'easters they've had. So what's going to happen here in terms of rain over the course of the next 5 days? Probably not that much. We might see a few showers over the weekend. The better chance probably near the Tennessee border. Down to the south, rain will be very spotty for the southern part of the state. And again, the good news, we don't expect any severe weather problems over the course of the next 7 days. Our forecast for tonight, the showers we have this evening will be ending. The sky clearing late tonight. The low should be in the middle 30s. Tomorrow will be a different kind of day because the sun should be out in full force. Windy at times, pretty strong northwest wind. The high will likely be in the 50s. That's about 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. Up on the 7-day, again, Thursday morning. I got 32 on that 7-day forecast. Some of the colder pockets could see upper 20s. The wind should be calm. That means a good chance of a light frost. Then during the day, we rise up in the low 60s. Friday highs well up in the 60s, then 70s likely for the weekend. And again, you see those chance of showers, probably the better chance late Saturday night or Sunday, mainly north of here. And again, next week, a risk of showers, but no chance of any severe weather coming up anytime soon. That's a good thing. Catch my forecast every day on great radio stations around the state, including at Birmingham, 98.7 Today's Kiss. But the important thing, the warning process worked well last night. Despite this EF3 damage, we've had no fatalities in the state. There have been some injuries, but they apparently will be okay. So that's all that matters. We'll be back in the studio late tonight at 10 o'clock.